Today I'm gonna do something different and answer some questions that my Instagram followers have asked. Well, I'm 28, I'm gonna be 29 in November, so the big 3-0 is next year and hopefully I can celebrate in New York, fingers crossed. Well, Megan, I actually have a video on this YouTube channel, so you will find an instruction on how to do your red lipstick. Basically, it's 3 coats of lip liner and 1 coat of lipstick. Wow, that is a really difficult one, but I'm a bit of a bargain hunter, so I don't actually pay that much for my dresses. The most I would pay is probably $200 for something really special. I have about maybe 70 dresses, but I don't really want to do the maths because that's gonna be really scary. Some of you might be thinking, what do you mean with vintage fashion trends? Aren't all vintage referring to fashion from the past? So how are we still coming up with vintage fashion trends? I think what flashback boutique means is some reproduction brands become really popular in the past few years. Some movies or period dramas on TV popularizes different decades. As we know, Mad Men was highly popular, and movies like Great Gatsby basically brought back the 1920s fashion trend. Well, I don't really follow trends. I pay attention to trends, but I think I'm really comfortable in my 1930s to 1950s looks, and I think that looks good and they are perfect for my daily life. So I do pay attention, but I don't really follow trend. I hope that makes sense. I will have to say this 1940s floral set that I got from Lucky Vintage in the US. They came to Australia for a vintage fair about 2 years ago, and I found this beautiful dress with matching bolero, and it's quintessentially 1940s, really good condition, so I had to have it. As you know, I just moved to London and it's only been 2 months and I'm still job hunting, so that's a bit annoying, but there's so much to do here and there's so much more vintage here compared to Australia, so it's been really fun. It took me a while to be comfortable in vintage, and I thought of it as a style that I was experimenting with. I mean, we all have done this throughout our lives. We tried different styles and different looks to find what we're comfortable in. So I guess I tried vintage and I fell in love. I would have to say a bit of both. If I'm wearing a 50s dress, I will wear anything from a 40s hat to 60s bag, or sometimes an 80s bag, but it will probably still look 50s. You probably have heard that about a month ago when I was visiting my in-laws in St. Albans, I went to a small vintage fair and found a Victorian name brooch that bears the name of my late grandmother. Her name was Bertha. My grandma passed away a few years ago and she didn't really have a lot of possessions, so she didn't leave me anything. And that was a bit upsetting, but I felt like now that I have found this brooch, I feel like that's a part of her that I can hold on to. I will have to credit other vintage lovers for inspiring me every day. They make me want to learn more about vintage, they teach me a lot about vintage, and they're just very supportive. My answer is just do it and have fun with it. When I first started 4 years ago, it basically was a visual diary to remind me of what past outfits I've worn, what fashion mistakes I've done, and no one was really reading it in the first year, so it was really for myself. And I think that is the most important thing about blogging, because there are so many blogs out there and it takes a while to get people to start reading your blog. It will have to be this 1940s dead stock cord bag, and I got it for $10. Well, Priscilla, if you're talking about the blogging, this is actually just a hobby, just a visual diary for me. I do get compensated sometimes, but it is not my main income. So it took me maybe about a year and a half to get noticed by shops or brands. But you know, that's understandable. The internet is a very big place. There's so many fashionable people out there. So for me, this is just for fun. Well, I had so much fun answering all these questions. I hope it hasn't been too awkward for you guys. I will see you again later. Soon. Bye.